YouTube, I am back with this video. It was a request from one of my subscribers. She requested that I make a video about being in your 20s and, you know, dealing with not having like-minded friends to go out to the movies with, to go shopping with, you know, all of those things we would do with our friends normally before we really started being on our walk with Christ. But now that we're serious about God, we want to hang out with like-minded people. Our old friends are not really like-minded, so we're stuck with kind of being alone. And you know, she just wanted advice on how to deal with that. And the video came at the perfect time because I told you guys in my last video, watch who you end up with. I went home for Easter. And when I went home, I met up with my best friend and one of the girls who we went to college with. She was our friend then. And when we were on the lake chilling, eating our crawfish or whatever, she asked me, and she was like, you know, how does the president of the Get Fresh crew go from that girl in college to this girl that I see in front of me, this godly woman I see in front of me? And you know, my answer was God. Like, God is the true nature changer. He's the true action changer. He's that final get right to really set your course on the path that you need to go. Because if you knew me in college, you knew me and my crew, like, we felt like we ran the campus. Like, we felt like we ran all the clubs we went to, skipping the lines, going straight in a club, because
that's how well they knew us.
Like, I'm sorry, but it's true. Like, that's how well they knew us. Like, our one spot in New Orleans, like, was this club called The Hangar. And we felt like we owned The Hangar. Like, The Hangar was our thing. Like, you could find us in The Hangar every Thursday. You could find us in the Boot on Tuesday. Like, we just had it on lock. And that just goes into the next thing I want to say. I want to say that now, you know, that I'm 25, the end of 2014 going into now 2015, you know, I really started actively seeking God's face in my relationships, in my friendships. Because prior to 25, godly friendships and relationships was not my concern. Like, when I was in college, like, that was not my concern. My concern was me and my friends looking cute, having some 20-inch Remy and being all up in the clubs, and that was my concern back then. So now that I am not in my transition, that I'm really into my change in my walk with God, being serious about it, a lot of those friends that I had then, I don't have those same friends now. And I went into really getting serious about God, knowing that a lot was going to change. And I said that in my conviction wrecked my relationship video. I knew that a lot was going to change because a lot of the friends or associates I had, the only thing we really had in common was going out and, you know, having a good time. That was the only thing we had in common. So, and even back then, it was a struggle for me to go out with a lot of people anyway, because I was never the type to like to get, you know, super sloppy drunk or like to smoke weed. Like, that was never my thing. And so I was kind of restricted back then. But now, you know, a lot of those friendships that I've had have withered away, and I have been spending a lot more time alone. And my way of dealing with that is I really got comfortable with myself. I got comfortable with doing things with myself. And I said in my last video, the problem with our generation is we don't like to be alone. Like, we always feel like we need to be with somebody. We want to be with a friend, or we want to be with a boyfriend. When in actuality, sometimes you really do just need to be alone. And I know that's not for everybody. You might say, you know, I've been alone. I haven't had friends for months, years. But at the same time, you have to understand is you want quality, you don't want quantity. So even though you might be alone and you might miss having girlfriends to go to the movies with or go out to eat with, at the same time, you don't just want somebody there filling up that spot. You want somebody who's like-minded, who can keep you accountable on your walk with Christ, not just somebody who's just going, girl, let's go to the club, even though they know that's just not what you into. So I know one particular friend that I have in mind is before I really started being on my walk with God, like, our thing was we would go out. We would like to go out. We would just like to go have fun when I moved to Atlanta. So now that I'm moving on and I'm more into like poetry shows and I'm more into like movies and restaurants and like low-key stuff, like, we have like kind of just split away. And even though in the beginning it was like, man, like I was sad, I'm not gonna lie. But at the end of the day, we have to realize, like, everybody can't walk this narrow path with us. Like, it's in the Bible, they say the path is narrow, and that's why everybody doesn't walk it. So you can't expect to keep like 4 or 5 people on each side and walk the narrow path, because if that was the case, the path wouldn't be narrow. So now I'm to the point where if there's like a movie coming out, or if there's like something I want to go to, I go by myself. And in the midst of that, I started praying and I asked God, like, really place me around like-minded women and like-minded people to really hang out with. I really want these godly friendships. I want somebody who I can talk about the Bible with. I want somebody who don't feel like I'm being super Christian and you know, that's what I wanted. So God really blessed me. I go to the Gathering Oasis Church, which is Cornelius and Heather Lindsay's church. And as I was praying that through the weeks, they started up this thing called gathering groups at my church, which is basically like a Bible study, but you get to choose which group you want to go to. For instance, there's groups for girls 25 and over, there's groups for girls 25 and under, there's groups for guys, and there are groups for married people, courting people, engaged people. You can pick, and you guys go to Starbucks, or you meet at a restaurant, or you go to one of the persons in the groups, you'll go to their house and you guys will have Bible study. So through that, I met some amazing women. I met some like-minded women who I can hang out with. It's a good time, it's good, clean, God approved fun, and it's awesome. So that really helped me. And I don't know if you're watching this video, if you're involved in the church, or you know what's your particular situation, but I can say another awesome thing you can do is there's a thing called Pinky Promise. Heather Lindsay started this nonprofit organization called Pinky Promise, and there's over 30,000 women all over the US in different states. There's different Pinky Promise groups on campuses. There's Pinky Promise groups everywhere. So if you find yourself in a predicament and you're like, you know, I'm really on my walk with Christ, I want more godly friends, definitely check out looking into Pinky Promise, because it's an awesome group with like-minded young women. You know, there's women every age in that group. So definitely check that out. I'll put the link to that below so you can look into that. But that's another avenue if you want to find godly friendships and you want to find young women who are in this thing and really in this thing and really want to walk it out and help you walk it out. So that was amazing. But if you do not have a Pinky Promise group around you and you aren't a part of a church, I really suggest that, you know, you find a church and you find a good church, somebody that's really bringing the word, that's Bible based, and you know, you find people within that church. And this video, and I'll just put this out there, this video is specifically speaking to someone who is Christian. So if you're not Christian and you're watching this and you're like, I don't believe in Jesus, I don't go to church, this might not be for you. Just saying that. So yeah, but before, and that's very important, before I even before they even started the gathering groups and I joined the gathering groups, I was really comfortable just being by myself, because I knew in the beginning of my walk with God, he had me in a season where he needed me to be alone. Like, he needed to prune some things out of me, and in the midst of that pruning, I couldn't be around other people, because if he's trying to get me to a place where I need to stop listening to certain music, I need to stop watching certain shows because it makes me think a certain way, yet I'm still hanging with people that still do that, that's a problem. So he'll get you in a season, whether it's in the beginning of your walk with Christ, in the middle, or wherever you are, he'll get you sometimes in a season where he needs you to be alone, because he needs you to come to him to fill those voids. Because a lot of times we feel like we need somebody else when we actually just need Christ. So we have, as humans, we have these voids, and we immediately either reach for food, we reach for people, we reach for clothes, we reach for something to fill that void, when in actuality it's God calling you back to him, beckoning you back to him. You know, come to me, let me make you whole, before you go out there and you get this man or you get this friend and place them on a high pedestal of expectations that they shouldn't even be on, because they're human and they're imperfect just like you. So come to me, let me fill you up, make you whole, so when you go out into the world looking for these friendships or relationships, you're not looking for that person to complete you, because you're already completed in God. And that makes relationships so much better. Because I'm not saying that you shouldn't have expectations, you shouldn't have boundaries on people. It's a difference between expectations and boundaries and putting them like on a pedestal, like a godly pedestal. So it's so important to recognize if you're in a season where you kind of need to be alone and you need some fine-tuning, or if you're in a season where, you know, you really are seeking godly friendships and relationships for the right reason. And that's such a key thing. Like, you have to make sure it's for the right reason, not just because like you need a void to be filled, you know. And I hope I'm getting that point across correctly, because there's nothing wrong with wanting friends, but you have to make sure you want friends in a relationship for the right reason. And I knew that when I first started my walk with God in October, November, that he needed me to really be alone, because he had some stuff that he had to prune out of me. Like, he had some stuff that needed to come down, and it's gonna be like that my whole life. It's gonna be a constant pruning, and I understand that, but sometimes we have to be alone for that pruning to come to be exactly how God wants it to be. Because when you're making changes and you're trying to keep some of those old people, they'll look at those changes and be like, girl, like, what the hell is going on? Like, are you crazy? And you'll start being like, wait, like, am I crazy? Like, am I turning into a weird Jesus freak? Like, you'll start, and that's not what God wants. But y'all always get me off track in these videos. But those are the 2 tips I have. I'm sorry, like, I have this air freshener spray that sprays out every 30 minutes and it just did it. I don't know if y'all saw that miss, but that was really weird. Definitely look at Pinky Promise. Try to join an awesome good church. Keyword is awesome good Bible-based church. Find those type of churches that's really bringing the word. Those 2 things, if you really want godly friendships, those two things helped me. I'm pretty sure, I hope somebody else comments with some other tips, because that's what I basically did. It was church and Pinky Promise, and God always provides, you guys. If you're praying to God earnestly and you're seeking after something that he wants you to have anyway, like, he's gonna give it to you. Like, it's not like you're praying like damnation on somebody. You're praying like you want some accountability partners. You want some godly girls that you can chill with, that you can walk this thing out with. And I promise you, if it is your time to have that, he will provide avenues for you to have that. So don't just feel like, oh, I'm alone, like, I believe in God, all my friends have withered away and I'm just gonna be alone looking at the wall. No, like, this Christian life is not meant to be boring. We can still have fun. We have freedom within Christ, but we have to make sure our fun is Christ approved and that we're glorifying him in everything. Because you cannot say, okay, I'm a Christian, I give my life to God, and still hang out with those people that want you to go up in the clubs and want you to go smoking and drinking and dropping it low and twerking. That's just not how it works at all. Like, because if that's how it worked, everybody will be a Christian, and that's just not what it is. So I hope these videos help somebody, because I know in the beginning it was very hard for me when I started losing my friends, well, some of my friends, and I was like, man, like, is this what this is all about? Like, am I just gonna be like inside looking at the wall, and then have my old friends texting me like, girl, we had so much fun last night, but I didn't invite you because I know you don't like that type of music no more, and I know you don't go out no more, so I didn't invite you. And I'm feeling like, man, like, maybe it's not so bad if I went to the club, when in actuality, you don't need to be in nobody club. Just say, okay, girl, I'm glad y'all have fun, and you just continue to seek after God, and I promise you, he will bring those women in your life. Because I've met so many awesome women. I'm like, man, I always tell people, like, I'm so shocked, like, other people my age are really walking this thing out, like, for real, and they serious about it, and I can just, like, enjoy this, and I don't have to. The only thing we have to talk about is gossip and celebrity gossip and people gossip. No, like, we really have some serious, like, stuff to talk about, some seriously edifying conversations, and it's enjoyable, and I didn't think it was possible. So I'm telling you guys that it is possible, so don't feel like it is not. So I will see you guys on the next videos. Thank you so much for watching and entertaining me on my rainy day, because I don't just, you know, these videos help me too, because as you can see, I am alone and I wanted to go to the thrift, and oh, that's gonna be my next video. Guys, I'm currently in a transition with my closet. I'm trying to find more modest clothes and, you know, stuff like that. So I am definitely gonna do a haul so you guys can see like the items that I'm picking up and how I'm making it chic and modestly chic, and I'm really enjoying it. So that's gonna be one of my next videos.